All right, it's time for my opening commentary. It is titled, This Thanksgiving, See the Glass as Half Full. Stop listening to the liberal lies about the Trump economy. Here is the raw truth. As host of America's Top 10 Countdown on Real America's Voice TV and Warzone, my daily video podcast, and my nationally syndicated daily radio show, I get thousands of emails from fans, and I read every single one of them so that my finger's on the pulse of what Americans are thinking. Thank goodness most of them are very happy with President Trump. I guesstimate 85% or more of my fans are in the satisfied camp, but that leaves a rather troubling 15% who are angry and disappointed and disillusioned at this moment with President Trump, and those are MAGA voters. That's a problem. Here's what I think is the root, excuse the pun, of the problem. First, the mainstream media are liars. They put out nothing but fake news. They spent 4 years under Biden trying to convince Americans that the awful, terrible, failing Biden economy was actually fabulous, fantastic, positive. Now they're spending 24/7 trying to convince us that the dramatically improved Trump economy is terrible. This 24/7 brainwashing takes its toll. If you repeat a lie enough times, it starts to stick, even with MAGA voters. Second, speaking of the economy, no one ever mentions that when President Ronald Reagan produced the greatest economic growth in modern history, it didn't happen overnight. It didn't, right? It took 2 full years of misery and malaise to turn around the awful, terrible, failing Jimmy Carter economy. President Trump is well on his way to replicating that Reagan-Carter turnaround, but it takes time to undo the damage of Biden and his boss, Obama. It doesn't happen overnight. Ask President Reagan, 2 years. President Trump's already tamed the drastic increase in inflation in only, 9, 10 months? That's a miracle. In other words, inflation is not going up at a dramatic speed anymore. That's a big win. But prices have not gone down. They are just about exactly where they were last year and the year before and the year before that. The Biden economy was a disaster. Biden exploded inflation. Simple. And that's the new floor for the prices you're paying. Biden set the floor. No one tells you that. No one explains that properly. These high prices are all Biden prices. They were created by Biden inflation. They weren't there for Trump 1.0. Trump has stopped the increase in inflation in a matter of months. Amazing. But he can't quickly drop the prices that underlie them, right? The prices themselves. Even Houdini couldn't do that. That's the deep, dark secret no one ever explains to you. But now that Trump has the rise in inflation under control, now he can focus on reducing the prices themselves over the next 12 to 18 months. But it takes time. There are several things Trump can do to bring prices down. They all take time. Like Reagan, he may need another year, another 18 months, maybe even another 24 months. The main reasons for inflation are, number one, runaway spending, deficit, and debt. Number two, tens of millions of illegal aliens all competing with Americans for the same goods and services. That's why your rent's so high. That's why grocery is so high. Number three, too many mouths to feed. Too many people on welfare and food stamps and 100 other government programs, including tens of millions of illegal aliens. Number four, Obamacare, which dramatically exploded your health care costs. Number five, green energy and the Green New Deal, otherwise known as the Green New Scam, which dramatically exploded energy costs in the name of bogus climate change. Number six, DEI, which screwed up the whole economy from top to bottom because unqualified, low IQ people got positions of power they never deserved and they weren't qualified for, and they made bad decisions. President Trump is busy working at solving all of these deeply flawed and dysfunctional structural problems, but they were all created by Biden and his boss, Obama, and radical socialist Democrat policies. And it's important to understand, if Kamala was elected, or if Democrats control Congress right now, or if they control it in 2026, if they win the midterms, their only answer is to double down on the same failing policies that caused inflation in the first place. Now we come to the key to the future prosperity of America and Americans. President Trump has convinced dozens of foreign countries to invest over $18 trillion into the U.S. economy. This is perhaps the greatest economic achievement in world economic history. But again, we won't see the results overnight. It takes time. for all these trillions of dollars to trickle down into the Main Street economy. But it will. Simple math and common sense tells you that. Do you think $18 trillion injected into our economy won't create jobs, opportunity, and prosperity? Wouldn't you like an extra $18,000 in your bank account right now? Would that help your personal economy? Of course it would. How about $180,000 or $1.8 million? Would that make a difference in your life? Well, $18 trillion will do that for the U.S. economy. I'll bet 95% of that money has not even been put to work yet. This all takes time. All these countries are not going to just throw the money at America. They have to put a plan together first before they send the money. One thing is for sure, all these trillions of dollars injected into our economy will produce a boom, the likes of which we have never seen in history, simply because no other president has ever convinced dozens of foreign countries to invest trillions of dollars into our economy. This is history in the making. Meanwhile, what exactly did Biden and Obama do to make the economy better? They never convinced any country to invest $1 into America, not $1. They dramatically increased spending and debt, the most in history, and yet the Biden economy sucked. What did we get for all that spending and debt? Nothing. They thought, and they said this out loud multiple times, welfare, food stamps, disability payments, and free health care are economic growth. They thought millions of jobs taken away from American workers and given to illegal aliens was proof of a robust jobs market. They quadrupled your health insurance payments with the Obamacare disaster. They tripled your electric and gas bills with the Green New Scam disaster. And they gave unfair advantages to foreign countries so you could buy cheap goods while killing our manufacturing industry and stealing millions of high-paying jobs from American workers, and they hoped you wouldn't notice. This was and still is the Democrat plan. Their failing ideas are what causes inflation in the first place. Trump's America First strategies are working. The proof is the latest news. Since Trump took office just this past January, we have gained over 2.5 million new jobs for American-born citizens, while we have eliminated 1.6 million jobs held by foreign-born people, i.e. mostly illegal aliens. That's great news. That's proof that Trump's policies are working for you. Give it time. President Trump isn't perfect. Sometimes I disagree with him too, but he is making America great again. He is the best president of my lifetime, even with faults and mistakes included. And I'm betting he's the best we will ever see again. The man works 24/7 for you or me, for no salary, and for America and MAGA, and he is all we've got. So maybe take a chill pill and cut the guy some slack. This Thanksgiving, see the glass as half full. Give thanks, because Trump has our economy on the right track. Prosperity is coming. Happy Thanksgiving.